welcome back to the Deep Dive. Okay, we're kicking things off today with a number that, honestly, it should really change how you think about media. YouTube has officially crossed 1 billion monthly podcast viewers globally.
Billion with a B. That's the headline.
Yeah, exactly, billion with a B, and it's an official number. So this isn't just YouTube being, big at video. This really confirms its maybe unexpected, but definite dominance.
Yeah.
It's the single biggest place people consume talk-based content now, period.
It is a remarkable milestone and really interesting because it represents this complete flip, right?
Yeah.
A platform flip. So our mission today really is to unpack how this happened. What are the structural advantages that let a platform known for, cat videos and music basically capture and totally redefine the audio market?
Right.
Because this growth, especially the last, say, 2 years, it's been explosive. And it's not an accident. It's driven by, convenience, much better data, and just a fundamental shift in how creators are telling stories now.
Okay, so we're going deep into the mechanics of this dominance.
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean for creators, for advertisers, and maybe most importantly for you, the listener, who's now probably finding your next favorite show on YouTube, a video platform? Strange times.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start there. Contrast the old world, right? Before YouTube was this hub, if you wanted a new podcast, you kind of needed to know the ropes. You needed the special app, maybe Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Right, or understand RSS feeds, which, let's be honest, most people don't.
Exactly. It was this niche knowledge. Now, though, you've got this huge shift. Massive chunks of the population are just bypassing all that legacy audio stuff. They find shows just by, searching or clicking inside YouTube itself.
And that points right to the biggest thing YouTube demolished. Friction, just the hassle. Traditional podcasting, it relied on listeners actively going out, finding that feed, subscribing.
Lots of steps.
Yeah, too many steps. YouTube's advantage is just sheer accessibility. Convenience. You don't need a new app. You don't need to know what RSS is. Often you don't even need a subscription.
You're already there.
You're already there. Logged in, watching something else maybe, and boom, there's a podcast clip. And that ease, that lack of friction, it converts, passive viewers who just stumble on a clip into actual fans of the full show, all inside YouTube.
And that scale,
Mm-hmm.
when it's that easy, just a click away, no matter your device or how techy you are, the potential audience just becomes enormous, basically everyone.
Right.
But, okay, convenience gets you eyeballs. It doesn't necessarily build a whole professional ecosystem, does it?
No, it builds the audience. And that massive, measurable audience, that attracts the professional tools. And that's the perfect transition. What happens when those casual viewers become really specific data points?
Data.
Exactly. That's where we pivot to the professional side.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shift from, let's say, hobbyist metrics like basic download counts to serious, actionable data science. YouTube has really matured the whole podcasting space by integrating these sophisticated analytics that, frankly, traditional audio just couldn't offer.
Okay, let's unpack those analytics. Yeah. Because this is where the money is, right?
Yeah.
Where the business models really change. We're not just talking download numbers anymore. What specifics are creators getting now that actually change how they make their shows?
Well, the list is pretty long, but the big ones. Detailed audience demographics, age, gender, location, really granular stuff. And critically, watch time and drop-off rates. Pinpointing exactly when people stop listening or watching.
Right. Traditional audio could say, you got 10,000 downloads, full stop.
Pretty much. They couldn't tell you if anyone actually listened past the intro or where they stopped or really who that listener was, beyond maybe an IP address.
That distinction is huge. If you're a creator and you see, okay, 60% of my audience checks out 90 seconds in during my intro banter.
You change that intro fast.
The data forces your hand.
Absolutely. The key takeaway for creators now is optimizing for retention. Keep people watching. We're seeing this massive shift away from, those rambling 5-minute podcast intros.
We all know them.
We do. To creators ruthlessly cutting that down. 30 seconds, maybe less. Because the data tells them exactly where interest drops. It compels them to be tighter, more engaging, quicker.
And that precise, verifiable engagement data, that's got to be music to advertisers' ears.
Mm-hmm.
The source material we looked at highlights that these video podcasts on YouTube, they're getting much higher engagement rates than traditional audio. But why are the CPMs, the cost per 1,000 views, actually higher? Can we quantify that a bit?
Yeah, the higher CPMs, it really boils down to data integrity and targeting. Think about it. An advertiser buys an ad on a traditional audio podcast, they're often relying on self-reported download numbers.
Which could be fuzzy.
Can be very fuzzy. And maybe a baked-in host read ad, which is static. You can't easily track if anyone heard it or acted on it.
Okay.
YouTube, though, offers verifiable device-specific engagement. They know the viewer's age, location, their viewing habits, because you're logged in.
Right, the whole Google ecosystem.
Exactly. So this allows for programmatic video advertising, dynamic ads, inserted and targeted specifically at those demographics. And that's just infinitely more reliable and crucially measurable for the advertiser than a generic audio ad read.
So better data means advertisers pay more because they're not just shouting into the void. They know they're hitting the right people who are actually watching or listening.
Precisely. Less waste, more impact. It's, well, kind of a dream come true for advertisers who need measurable ROI. If you want serious reach and data you can trust, that billion-viewer pool on YouTube with verified engagement, it's pretty much unbeatable right now.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and look at the content itself. Because to win on YouTube, the very idea of a podcast seems to be changing fast. YouTube has really blurred the line, hasn't it, between what's a video and what's a podcast. It's pushing creators towards this hybrid content.
Exactly right. This shift basically demands that the content uses visual cues effectively. It's way beyond just pointing a static camera at people talking in a studio anymore.
So what does hybrid content actually look like?
Well, it means dynamic visuals. Things like text overlays popping up to explain a point or show a statistic. B-roll footage illustrating what's being discussed. Maybe animated sequences, charts, graphics. The visual element isn't just an add-on. It's becoming integral to keeping the audience hooked. Storytelling uses both sound and sight now.
And this richer format,
Yeah.
it's key for grabbing new audiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially younger demographics.
Definitely. Younger viewers grew up on YouTube, on TikTok. They expect visual stimulation. They're, far less likely to download a separate audio-only app than they are to just watch a talk show within YouTube where they already spend their time.
Which brings us to maybe the most critical piece of this puzzle, the algorithm.
Capital A.
Ah, yes, the great curator.
Because traditional audio platforms, for decades they tried, but they really struggled with discovery, didn't they? If you didn't already know the name of a show, how would you ever find it?
It was a huge problem. A discovery crisis, like you said. You relied on charts which favor the already big, or maybe word of mouth. Limited options. So how did YouTube crack this? How did they solve the discovery problem that basically stumped the entire audio industry?
Well, they didn't really have to build a new discovery engine for podcasts. They just leveraged the incredibly powerful video recommendation engine they've been honing for, 15 years?
They plugged podcasts into the existing machine?
Pretty much. They use their massive graph of user behavior. The algorithm serves up podcast clips or even full episodes based on everything else you watch, what you search for, what similar viewers engage with.
So, okay, walk me through that. You watch, say, a documentary about ancient Rome.
And then maybe the algorithm suggests a 5-minute clip from a history podcast discussing Roman emperors.
Oh, okay.
That clip acts as this really powerful organic little trailer, a hook.
If you like it.
You click through to the full episode right there. No need to switch apps, subscribe to a feed, nothing. It's seamless.
That seamless algorithm-driven delivery, that feels like the absolute game changer in how people actually consume this stuff now.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this democratization of discovery, well, it's put enormous pressure on the professionals. It's why you see the big networks, major celebrities, news organizations.
Mm-hmm.
They're all investing heavily in what people are now calling YouTube-first podcast production. Meaning they design the whole show, the set, the lighting, multiple camera angles, graphics specifically for YouTube from the ground up. They recognize it's the new front page,
Yeah.
the main stage for global talk-based content.
But hang on, if discovery is now basically controlled by one platform's algorithm, doesn't that kind of screw over smaller, independent creators? People who maybe don't have the budget or, frankly, the video skills to make slick, high-production value stuff.
Well, that's the tension, isn't it? That's the downside, potentially. It definitely raises the bar for entry. The audience is huge, yes, but the barrier isn't technical access anymore. Anyone can upload. The barrier is production quality. If you can't produce a visually engaging feed that keeps people watching past that, crucial drop-off point the analytics show you, the algorithm simply might not serve your content widely, no matter how brilliant your audio discussion is.
So the cost of entry has shifted. It's less about marketing now, maybe, and more about investing in cameras, lighting, editing, video infrastructure.
Yeah, it seems to be the direction, yeah. a significant shift.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here for you, the listener, and really for anyone in media? It seems clear YouTube isn't just a video site hosting podcasts anymore. It's actively reshaping the entire podcasting landscape, the economics, the creative side, everything. And this dominance, it feels like it rests on those three pillars we talked about. First, just unmatched accessibility.
Yep, ease of use.
Second, that sophisticated professional-level analytics data that empowers creators and, crucially, advertisers.
Measurable results.
And third, that powerful existing algorithm that finally cracked organic discovery for talk content.
The recommendation engine. It all ties together.
Which leads to a pretty big concluding thought, I think.
It does. It makes you wonder if success now requires strong visuals, high retention rates driven by that visual engagement, and if the algorithm is king for discovery. Does the word podcast even really fit anymore? Or are we just talking about long-form, talk-based video content now? Has the definition itself fundamentally changed, leaving that pure audio era somewhat behind?
That really is the core question defining this new media reality, isn't it? Thank you for digging into that with us today. Next time you find yourself discovering a new show, maybe take a second to think about how it got to you. Was it the algorithm, the format, the data behind it? Lots to consider. Stay curious.